What is going on, everyone? First and foremost, I want to say thank you for being here right now, watching this video, simply because it truly does help me out a lot. Now we're going to be reacting to Lil Durk has been officially indicted and is now facing new charges. He's facing 2 new charges, and he's also facing life in prison, man. So overall, really not looking good for Lil Durk. And apparently the feds are also going to use his lyrics that he did rap about in the court of law, just like any other rapper. So it's really not surprising, but it is annoying. Like, they're always using the stuff rappers rap about in the court of law. But it's not really surprising either, because, the rappers always rap about some crazy stuff. So can't really blame them. But overall, it's not looking good for Lil Durk. The feds do have a lot of substantial evidence. And not only that, and apparently credit cards linked to the OTF label were involved in this entire situation. But not only that, man, otfjam also snitched. So we also have that. We're gonna have apparently conversations of Lil Durk that were picked up on a microphone that otfjam was wearing. So it's going to be an interesting trial, man. But overall, let me know what y'all think, man. Do y'all think Lil Durk is cooked? Do y'all think he's fried? Or do y'all think he still has a chance, just like Young Thug did, man? But overall, let's just dive into the video, see what it's talking about.
Now, without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, okay, y'all, it's pretty much official. Lil Durk has officially been indicted for the charges of the death of lulpab. And they actually added more charges, in which I don't know where they got it from, but I told y'all before, the feds, they play very different. One thing about the feds, they're going to present some evidence to you, and just know that that's not the only evidence they have. One thing about the feds, like I told y'all before, they don't come asking you, did you do this or not? They come with evidence, and they come with plea deals or whatever time that they want to give you, and that's that. Now, if you decide to fight it and take it to trial because you see whatever evidence that they present at that time you think is weak, all until you get into trial and you realize that they have way more than you thought. But at that time, it's way too late, and if you blow trial, you get way more time than you was originally going to get with the plea deal. So in a nutshell, the feds are nothing to play with. And if you find yourself in a situation involving them, I just don't know what to tell you. Alright, now in Lil Durk's situation, as y'all know, he's been accused of playing a role in Quando Rondo's affiliate lulpab's death. And there's been a lot going on since the news came out, right? Lil Durk has been accused of a whole bunch of things, whether it's M for hire, paying this person to do this, running a criminal enterprise, and at first, it was just rumors. However, these rumors have turned into actual charges now, being that he has been indicted for the case. Now, in most cases, if they pick you up for whatever crime that you committed, they have a certain amount of time until they indict you. And usually if they indict you, that means they're serious because they have actual evidence against you and they're looking for time. Now, in Lil Durk's situation, I don't know what's going to come out of it. But like I say, he's just been indicted. And I want to go over the indictment and what they have. Like I said, they also added 2 more new charges. So it's not looking too good. Whatever evidence they have, whoever they have cooperating, I'm telling you, somebody behind the scenes have said something, because if you pay attention to what they said they got and the things that they know, this ain't just coming from good police work. Trust me. So always be aware of your surroundings. You never know who to trust, but that should all go without saying. What we're going to do is we're going to go over the indictment and talk about the things that they have, and y'all jump in the comments and let me know what y'all think about everything that's going on. Now, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Now, according to the United States Attorney's Office, they will produce the indictment online. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's pretty lengthy. But what I am going to do is go over the key parts, and then we get to react to that part and stuff that we didn't know already going forward. Now, it would say, quote, Durk Banks 32, aka Lil Durk, in blood, and Mustafa Abdul Malak of Chicago is charged with 1 count of conspiracy, 1 count of use of interstate facilities to commit M for hire resulting in death, and 1 count of using, carrying, and discharging firearms in a machine weapon and possession of such firearms in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death. The indictment adds 2 felony charges against Banks, who previously was charged via criminal complaint in this case. The 4-count superseding indictment returned late Thursday adds Banks as the lead defendant to a previous indictment returned October 17th in charging the following defendants in connection with the August 2022 M. Now, like I said, keep in mind, y'all, they said he's the lead defendant, which means through all this, I don't know if that's pretty much them putting everything on him or mean he's going to suffer the worst consequence, but however, they said he's the lead defendant. And it seems like they're targeting him this time for sure. Now it says Kingvon London Grant 28 aka Cuz and Vonnie of Atlanta, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson 33 aka Didi of Chicago, Keith Jones 33 aka Flocka of Gary, Indiana, David Brian Lindsley 33 aka Brown Eyes of Addison, Illinois, and Asa Houston 36 aka Boogie of Chicago. Banks was arrested on October 17th near Miami International Airport after law enforcement learned that Banks had been booked on multiple international flights. A federal magistrate judge in Miami has ordered him jail without bond until he is transferred to Los Angeles for arraignment. All 6 defendants, none of them whom has yet entered a plea to the charges, are expected to be arraigned in United States District Court in downtown Los Angeles in coming weeks. According to the superseding indictment, in 2010, Banks formed an organization called Only the Family, OTF, which amongst other things produced and sold hip-hop music from artists primarily from the Chicago area. OTF also acted as an association, in fact, of individuals who engaged in violence, including M and assault, at Banks' direction and to maintain their status in OTF. Now what they're trying to do is paint the picture that OTF is looked at as a music label, but it's really pretty much a hub for criminals to hide behind and perform their dirty work to make it just look good under an official OTF music label. Now before we go forward, let me say this, right? Dame Dash made a very good point in one of his interviews recently when he was speaking on Durk's case. He made a good point by saying a lot of the police target these artists while the music labels get to sit back and reap the benefits while the artists crash out, but they willingly paid these artists knowing that they were pushing the agenda of violence. But the only people that ends up getting the bad end of the stick is the artist. So OTF as a label is looked at as a criminal enterprise. However, OTF the label has a parent company over them in which nothing happens to them, but they're paying Lil Durk and the OTF label mates to further push the agenda of committing crime. And when things go down, they don't get no consequences from it. All they do is sit back and collect and then go on to the next artist when one goes to jail or sometimes even lose their life. Now when it comes to this indictment, let me say this. If you take down the head, the body will follow, right? With Durk being taken down, who's left to support the other guys, whether it's lawyer fees or whatever else needed financially to fight these cases? And now that I think about it, this is also probably why Durk was never included in the O-Block RICO, but somehow they still say that O-Block members were a part of OTF and committed crimes under the label under Durk's direction. Maybe he was already being watched by the feds due to lulpab's case, and they were just waiting to have enough information to strike. And I assume once they noticed he had a bunch of flights booked at once, they feared he would try and flee from their jurisdiction and close in on him before he could leave. And maybe that's why they also gave him no bond. Now the indictment will also read, quote, on August 19, 2022, several OTF members and associates used 2 vehicles and worked in tandem to track, stalk, and attempt to unalive TB for hours, culminating in a shooting at a gasoline station located near the Beverly Center shopping mall. Now for y'all that don't know, TB is Quando Rondo because his real name is Taekwon Bowman. Now it said that the co-conspirators used multiple guns, including a machine gun, and fired at least 18 rounds at TB's vehicle, striking and unaliving the victim identified in court documents as SR, who was TB's family member who had been traveling with TB. SR is lulpab. Now it says Banks allegedly ordered TB's M, and the hitman used money from Banks and OTF-related finances to carry out the hit. Bank and flight records show that an OTF member and close associate of Banks coordinated and paid for 5 co-conspirators to travel from Chicago to California on the day before the M. Around the time the one-way flights were purchased, Banks told the OTF associate booking the flights, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." The same day the hitman traveled from Chicago to California, Banks also traveled to California in a private jet with another conspirator, Kingvon London Grant, 28, aka Cuz and Vonnie. Later that day, Grant allegedly purchased ski masks for the shooters to use to commit the M and paid using a credit card in Banks' name for the other co-conspirators' hotel room. Alright y'all, so pretty much that's it. It's the same information included in the indictment that we already knew they had, but like I told y'all before, when it comes to the feds, they're not going to indict you without them having proper evidence or whatever they hand out the time that they're trying to issue you. Their best bet is to just take whatever plea deal that they could get, because if they take it to trial, 9 times out of 10 they're going to blow, and then it's pretty much over from there because they're saying that they're facing life in prison. Now this is interesting because they have a lot against them. It's not like he say, she say. No, it's not rumors, it's none of that. This is them having credit cards and stuff linked back to OTF and Lil Durk, as well as Lil Durk getting on a private jet to go to the same place. So their questions is going to be, why did you go there? Right? What was you doing on a private jet going to California? If you say you had shows, we want proof. Why did they go out there on one-way flights? Why didn't they have there and back flights? You know, there's certain questions that they're going to ask that you're going to have to pretty much, account for. Not to mention, even if Lil Durk is off, right? He still got to answer for his credit cards and stuff being used for the suspects, right? So they say, man, when you the boss, at the end of the day, you're going to have to take a loss sometimes, and sometimes that loss could be pretty hefty, right? Now, I see Big Mike, who is Wooski's brother. He mentioned that 9 times out of 10, Durk is going to find somebody to take the rap for him, right? However, this time, this ain't just some regular case, y'all. 2 things start to play a factor in all this going on, where you can't just put it on somebody without feeling any type of remorse. I'm going to tell you why. Now, if these crimes were with somebody that he didn't care about, or, somebody younger, or somebody he really don't know like that, it's easy for him to go to them and say, well, listen, I need you to take this for me and, X, Y, and Z. But he's been caught up with people that are very close to him, so it's hard to just approach them and tell them, well, listen, I need you to take this. Imagine going to one of your best friends and saying, listen, I know you didn't X, Y, and Z, but I need you to take this 20, 30, 40 years and be away from your family. Yes, you have a kid, but I need you to take this, right? It just don't happen like that. And not to mention, other than just having those type of relationships with them guys where they're not just associates, they're friends, they seem like they have a pretty neat case to where they have evidence where they're saying that Lil Durk's information, financial this and stuff was included. So he's definitely going to have to defend himself when it comes to that. We got you for M for hire. And let's say you try to tell us that you don't do that. Then why was your credit cards or why anything financial linked to OTF is sitting here paying for the suspects that we got? Right? If you say you got nothing to do with them, then why is your financial records coming up whenever something was paid when it comes to these suspects? So I don't know, y'all. It's very tricky. And like I always tell y'all, we don't wish jail or death on nobody. It's very unfortunate no matter which way it goes, because, these guys have kids, they got lives, and they got people that they take care of. However, I see a lot of people say things like they haven't seen so much people so happy that someone is going to jail. And that's not the case. It's the fact that these guys literally be telling on themselves, and when things hit the fan, they point fingers, right? Nobody takes accountability. Durk himself is in a bunch of songs saying things like, I don't want that one, I want the one I paid for. Or you can believe whatever you want, I got your folks here, right? And it's not that people are happy. I think it's more so people are wondering how this didn't come sooner. Because in this new generation of music, it's like everyone just has to tell you about crimes being committed, whether it's on social media, IG lives, music, etc. It's nothing like the old days, man, but I guess this is the times we're living in. You even got one of the, I'm not going to say no names, but in his song saying, I kill people. What? Yeah, at some point you think some of these are parodies, but these are really the times we're living in, y'all. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share.
But yeah, let me know what y'all think, man. But overall, he is right. I do agree with him. These rappers do end up snitching on themselves. And it's like, Durk has been getting away with this for a long time. Many rappers in general get away with this for a long time. But at the end of the day, man, music is music, lyrics are lyrics, right? Anybody can literally say anything on a song. And at the end of the day, does it really mean anything? Like anybody can hop on a song and just say, "Oh, I did this to this person," but in reality, they never did that to that person. You get what I mean? And it could be a whole nother situation where it's just like they could hop on a song and say, "I did this to this person," but they never did anything to that person. Whole time, another person did it to that person. If you understand what I'm saying, but most of the time, it's just like lyrics don't really mean anything. It's just like most of the time, lyrics don't even mean anything. But in situations like this, man, they definitely mean something. Like clearly, it's really not looking good for Lil Durk. He literally rapped about it, stuff like that. But let me know what y'all think, man. Overall, he had the keys to Chicago. He lost it due to this whole situation. And apparently his own homie, otfjam, was wearing a wire around him for a full year, which is absolutely crazy. Not sure how you didn't notice that, but that's what happens when you get comfortable, way too comfortable, around the people that you're supposed to trust, I guess. But let me know what y'all think, man. Without further ado, peace out.